Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the reason that I am requesting this is because Rescue 33, who has the area we're standing in here, has not signed their DERA, which is our designated emergency response area. And with that being said, they're doing the majority of the transports out of Buchanan County. And so I get the reason that they can't staff it full time because it's very expensive to have you got an EMT and a driver sitting there at all times waiting to go out on call. And it's not feasible for them because they are a private company to do that. So what Knox Creek and Prater has agreed to is to split this area. And I need to ask the board if they would agree to allow Knox and Prater to split the area. I mean, at some point it has to be done. That way they can cover it because there's response times. We have to be there within 30 minutes. And if Knox knew that they had to cover this area, then they could better staff it. And if Prater knew that they had to cover down below ground, then they can better staff it.
So have you met with all the rescue?
They've actually been covered, as far as the non-phone calls, it's financial, find out about Prater, but as far as the bill and insurance and taxes and things. So,
I've actually got to ask for some money to help them out tonight. Cause the burden's just, we're basically covering Slate Creek. And
we formulated a plan about a year ago that, I think the board voted on it, that designates money for the rescue squads that do the most flying. And there's a payment that will be covered by that payment. We've done that, haven't we? That already been. They've already issued money. No, they
It was budgeted. It was in their appropriation.
Right, but we have, we issued them. Well, they're making 40 grand,
No,
like,
it's
if you want.
not in there, it's in there.
It's just been in the because of the prior years, it's based on the volume of calls that each of it, I know you'll probably not too. It's already been put
in their account, according to the percentage we came up with.
So to say there is some money there, that's extra for that. So you talked to Prater Knox.
Prater and Knox, yes, sir, has agreed to, I mean, to make one story short, what it's going to be is we basically dropped it off at Elkins Branch. Knox is going to have everything from the mouth of Elkins Branch to the West Virginia line. Prater is going to handle everything from the mouth of Elkins Branch to the Kentucky line, with the exception of the Home Creek and Big Rock area. Knox said they could come down Home Creek and make that little road behind the railroad tracks and head back up and take that area.
So basically Mercy or Rescue 33 didn't want to do it, 911 calls.
I mean, they're doing extremely little. I would like to leave them as an alternate on it. If we have to call them, which it doesn't matter that fast, they have to call them, they have to call them. The problem is, Mr. Stillner, is the staffing of it. They have to have somebody there 24/7 in order to staff these things.
Biggest thing I see when we started paying these numbers of these people who are working at these rescue squads there.
Everybody, then, ain't no volunteers, matter. It's all payment on anybody. But, I understand that. But we can't have a huge number here, huge number here, huge number here, we gotta work out.
Something there where we can maintain that with 4 or 5, maybe instead of 20, that's getting paid out of that area there. I don't know how you work it out, but I do know everybody needs rescue service. Everybody needs ambulance service. Everybody needs that there. But once we started paying and the numbers keep increasing on these rescue squads there, then boys, we could probably hire, I don't know who there. But if we keep on adding those employees on.
I don't have a problem
big
paying
problem.
these rescue squads, cause I mean, your house burning is one thing, I understand volunteers for a fire department. You know, in your bigger cities and things, firefighters are even paid, decent salaries, but, you know, there's a difference between your house burning or having a heart attack or a car wreck, and it's like over in council, and I know Tim's got some calls and so have I. We've got to figure out a way, and we're gonna eat the costs on that, we've got to get him a rescue squad over there.
Our problem right now, we're the only rescue squad that's fully volunteer, and we're limited on
We're having
volunteers
to work.
that we have because there are 4 EMTs that we have all work full-time jobs. So we're wanting to work on something to get Oakwood, which, you know, I'll be asking for some money to help put a Band-Aid on this until we can figure out something possibly countywide or something, because the other ones are struggling too, you know, with the money and stuff, and we're, you know, like I said, we're very limited over, we have low call volume.
If you call today, you're 4 or 5 months getting your money.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, I don't know about the number.
And also,
We got a set of numbers, some for there, takes it down, especially for the age group, but the equal about. Yeah, if there is still.
Yeah, you hear what Bart just said, we're paying our people next to nothing, $12, $13 an hour, and they're going to Richlands and places.
Well,
actually getting a
that's
better
what
job.
Freighter Jamie told me, they're losing people because even with billing insurance, they can't pay what these people need, so, you know, we're gonna have to look at something countywide, I mean, I don't know what the answer is, but we're gonna have to do something for these smaller areas, I think even Slate Creek is having problems with
Let me-
coverage and stuff.
let me ask this. Okay, we've got our county rescue squads. Then we have 2 privately owned rescue squads who operate in this county but refuse to do a 911 call. Correct?
I wouldn't say, Mr. Stiltner, they refuse to do a 911
It's
call.
pretty much refuse if you don't take a
If they
call.
don't- If they don't have the personnel to do
Well,
it.
I could sit here and tell you, I can have
Well,
10 people in my
I agree.
office and I get a call and I said, I ain't got the personnel to send that out. I mean, they've got to be something to where that they have to, if they're going to operate in the county, then they need to have some sort of agreement that they're going to answer so many calls a year, 911. And that takes the burden off of our / paid volunteer people. No, it's not. I mean, I'm telling you, I mean, you start with 100,000, 200,000, and you're gonna be up $2 million before you know it. Now, I mean, we can't keep 50, 75 employees for ambulances when we've got 2 paid services in the county that they just pick and choose the high dollar transports that they want. That's basically what they're doing. They're cherry picking.
If you look at these figures. See what we are spending on fire departments, rescue squads, and, really and truly, on the amount of money we're spending there, I think, we could probably man 3 or 4 qualified people, if we could, at each one of these there to get some service in there. But what I was saying there, you can't hire 20 people here and keep adding them on, and then these others want to hire the same number of people in order to get the service on. And it's the same way, like anything that we look at there, we look at the numbers and we see what district is getting this, what district's getting that, and how much money that we're getting. We gotta come up with something there where we can balance it out, where everybody can have the service, but we can't pay 20 people in every district there that's one service there.
I think we need to, cover their salaries and expenses, but what they bring in on their calls needs to come back to the county. That's how you solve the problem. We're gonna lose money on it, but we're providing the service to the county.
Something's gonna be, something's gonna have to be done because it just keeps getting worse, the situation does.
You know, Knox will cover itself for the most part, but council will struggle a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. We gotta have an ambulance service in council. We gotta have one at Whitewood. We gotta have one,
Mhm.
we gotta have service for these people.
We do.
I mean, it's not worth the money we waste. This is a good investment, in my opinion.
It's a priority that
Yes.
we gotta do something about. I mean, it's, something's gotta happen.
Well, my thing is, and you all obviously important, do you want me to look into making it a countywide service? And that way we do know what's going on. I mean, that's entirely you.
I know that we're one of the few left that don't do that.
If it's something that gets us better service at council, yeah, I'm all for looking at it.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, tell me a county that has a countywide service in Southwest Virginia.
Washington County just did it a couple months ago. Because
They employ every employee that, at the rescue
no,
squad.
they still have other rescue squads there, but they have Washington County EMS service.
Yeah, so they're not.
don't cover the entire county. But they also have their Rescue 33s and their Mercies who does the transporting. See, if our guys transport, then the thing that kills Rescue 33 and Mercy is they do all these transports. Well, if I have a patient at Buck General or I have a patient at the nursing home down here and I got to take them to Charleston, West Virginia, it takes a crew to do that, which leaves this area with no service. And then we've got to get Prater or Knox over here to make that happen. We have to transport those people.
Something though has got to be done with cost. And this is one thing now. They took me to Bristol by ambulance. A trip to Bristol, $1,800. I said, I'll drive down there, you know, but they said, no, you can't because of the requirements they have when they're doing, sending you from one place to another. But like I said, age requirements and everything there is, I don't know what we're going to do, but it just keeps climbing and climbing there.
I think Mr. Atkins has a good idea. Let's set up a committee. I was at Bartnum's last meeting, so I'd like to be on the committee. Okay, so me, Drew, and Trey, anybody else want on the committee? Okay, we'll set a committee to look at this with Bart and, you know, brainstorm and see what we can figure out and get some ideas on it.
We're gonna be on that also.
Huh?
Mr. Horn gonna be
And
on that
Mr.
also.
Horn can be on it also, yes.
But the EMS council said that, you know, most jurisdictions, because they are having these problems, because it's really not
Feasible or monetarily sustainable to run 911 calls because there's really not enough money. So you're not getting these private companies to do that because they lose money doing it. And a lot of our counties, especially in Southwest Virginia, have had to go to a countywide system simply because that private companies cannot do it. They can't, they're losing money by running 911 calls.
Run a 911 call, don't think they have insurance, or don't know that they're going to get paid either. You know, you might get paid 3 out of 10 times or something. That's the problem. We're that service part.
I know we're talking about setting up a committee, and, you know, there's issues, and, you know, this is like Roger's saying, this is a broad problem that we've had for a long time, and we need to sit down and try to figure out what's the best way to, you know, use the county's funds, you know, to make this thing viable, you know, and for the long term. So I agree. I think we need to set a committee and do that. But I mean, do you recommend that we clean this up right now since Mercy and them can't do that? Yeah.
Yes, I think
That area needs to be broken up right now that way. And the reason for that is if a call comes in right here, dispatch is going to call 33 because they're number one on the list. If 33 has no one there, if they're in Columbus, Ohio, and Charleston, West Virginia, they can't get there. And we got to put those 3 calls out by code before we call the second group. So if we split it right now, Knox and Prater will be the first.
I'll make a motion that we revise the DERA map to Bart's recommendation.
We have a motion.
Second.
Art, is there also a plan that goes with the map? I mean, do both need to be revised?
yes, we will have to sign the DERA.
What I said is that.
Yes.
There's a map.
And a plan that need to be revised?
Include that in my motion.
Second.
We have a motion from Mr. King and a second by Mr. Stiltner. Any discussion? Hearing none.
Mr. Atkins,
Yes.
Mr. Branham, Mr. Stiltner,
Yes.
Mr. Wright, Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Cooper?
Yes.
And I'm a yes.
Mr. Chairman, may I ask Ms.